Every morning offers you a fresh battlefield where your thoughts become your weapons and your mindset becomes your armor. How you speak to yourself in those first few moments of the day will shape your emotions, your choices, and your outcomes. So before the world tells you who you are, you must declare it to yourself. This isn't just motivation, it's mental reprogramming. Because when you wake up with power in your words, you carry that energy into everything you do. In this video, we'll uncover 14 powerful things you must tell yourself every morning. Truths that will reset your mind, ignite your discipline, and align you with the greatness you were born to walk in. Speak these out loud, feel them deeply, and watch how your life transforms, one sunrise at a time. Number 1. I am not my past. I am my potential. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. The mistakes you've made, the pain you've endured, the chapters you wish you could erase, none of these are your identity. They are simply lessons, wrapped in experience, fragments of a version of you that no longer exists. Too many people walk through life, dragging the weight of who they used to be, carrying guilt like it's a badge of honor, when in reality, it's a chain meant to be broken. You are not here to be imprisoned by what was. You are here to step boldly into what can be. Every sunrise that touches your face is proof that life believes in your potential more than your past. That alone is grace. You don't owe the old you any more loyalty. You owe everything to the version of you that's waiting on the other side of growth. Let that sink in. You are not defined by the moments you fell, but by the moments you chose to rise anyway. Maybe you were broken once, but that break wasn't your end. It was the doorway to a stronger, wiser, more aware version of yourself. You have the right to rewrite your narrative at any time. The world may try to remind you of who you were, but your spirit knows who you are becoming. When you look in the mirror, stop searching for remnants of old scars. Instead, see the seed of infinite potential, waiting to be nurtured by belief, action, and faith. There is no expiration date on reinvention. You are under no obligation to remain the person you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. Growth is your birthright. Evolution is your power. Stop rehearsing your regrets and start practicing your rebirth. Speak life over yourself every morning and say, I am not my past. I am my potential. Let those words cut through every lie that ever told you you're not enough. Let them silence the echoes of judgment, shame, and doubt. Because here's the truth. Some of the most powerful people alive were once buried in brokenness. But they didn't stay there. They realized that pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. So whatever happened before today, use it. Don't hide it. Transform it. Let your past become the soil, not the ceiling. Let it grow something in you so deep that when people look at you, they don't see where you've been. They feel where you're going. And if there are people who still try to define you by who you used to be, that's their limitation, not yours. You're not obligated to carry their perception. Only your purpose. Walk in it. Own it. Because when you realize that your power lies in your potential, not your past, you'll stop explaining and start elevating. You'll stop shrinking to fit your former self and start expanding into the highest version of who you were always meant to be. So breathe in this truth. You are not your history. You are your possibility. Let today be the first day you live like it. Number 2. Today, I choose progress over perfection. Perfection is a myth, an illusion we chase like a mirage in the desert, always just out of reach, draining our energy, clouding our judgment, and convincing us that nothing we do is ever enough. But today, you stand at the crossroads between pressure and peace, between criticism and courage, and you must make a powerful choice, not to be perfect, but to make progress. That today, you stand at the crossroads between pressure and peace, between criticism and courage, and you must make a powerful choice, not to be perfect, but to make progress, because perfection is stagnant. It waits for all conditions to be ideal, for every fear to be quiet, for every flaw to disappear, but progress moves anyway. Progress steps forward with shaky hands and a hopeful heart. It knows the journey won't be flawless, but it's worth it. It means showing up even when you feel unready, speaking truth even when you failed before. Perfection says, don't try until it's certain. But progress whispers, try anyway. Perfection lives in fear. Fear of being judged, fear of looking foolish, fear of failing publicly. But progress walks hand in hand with courage. It understands that growth doesn't come from getting it all right. It comes from daring to get it wrong and learning anyway. When you choose progress, you free yourself from the prison of overthinking, from the paralysis of not being good enough, and you begin to move in the direction of your destiny, even if it's messy, even if it's slow, because every small action, every single effort compounds. Every morning you choose discipline over delay, you're making progress. Every time you get up after being knocked down, you're growing. Every time you step into the arena, instead of watching from the sidelines, you're rewriting your story. Choosing progress means giving yourself permission to be a beginner, to not have all the answers, to be human. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. And that matters. It means celebrating the inches instead of always craving the miles. Because transformation doesn't happen in quantum leaps. It happens in quiet consistency. It's found in the hours no one applauds, in the decisions no one sees, in the inner battles you win before the world ever notices. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You need to be committed. Perfection is rooted in ego, but progress is grounded in purpose. Perfection seeks validation, but progress seeks evolution. And if you're always chasing flawless, you'll miss the beauty in the becoming. You'll never launch the idea, never share your voice, never take the risk, because the fear of imperfection will keep you locked in inaction. But when you shift your focus to progress, something changes inside you. You start to see failure as feedback. You stop measuring your worth by your outcomes and begin honoring your efforts. You stop being so hard on yourself and start being honest with yourself, not about how far you have to go, but how far you've come. Because the truth is, every master was once a mess. Every expert was once a beginner. Every strong person you admire had days where they felt weak. They just didn't quit. They chose progress. And you can too. Every single day you wake up, you get to make that choice again. You can choose to let the weight of perfection break your spirit, or you can choose to take one brave step forward, knowing that progress is enough. Not perfect, but enough. So today, speak it out loud and believe it deeply. I choose progress over perfection. Let that be your mantra. Let it guide your actions, your thoughts, your attitude. Let it release the pressure that's been crushing your creativity. Let it liberate you from the lie that you're never doing enough. You are not here to perform, you're here to evolve. You are not here to impress, you're here to express. And every time you do something with love, with effort, with honesty, even if it's not perfect, it's powerful. Choosing progress isn't settling, it's strengthening. It's rising in spite of doubt. It's building something real instead of waiting forever to make it flawless. And here's the beautiful truth. Consistent progress eventually looks like perfection, but it starts in the grind, in the grit, in the daily decision to keep moving forward. Don't let your potential die in the waiting room of perfectionism. Don't let your gifts go unused because you were scared they weren't polished enough. Give what you have. Start where you are. Trust that who you are right now is already equipped to take the next step. So whatever you're working on, building, healing, or becoming, keep going. Don't pause for perfection. Don't wait for the ideal version of yourself to arrive, because your power is in the process. Your victory is in the movement, and your peace is in knowing that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Today, right now, make the choice that will change your life. Say it again, not as a wish, but as a declaration. Today, I choose progress over perfection. Number 3, my energy is sacred and I protect it fiercely. Your energy is not just a feeling or a fleeting mood. It is your life force, your invisible currency. The vibration that speaks before your words ever do. It is sacred because it shapes your reality, colors your perception, and attracts or repels the people, experiences, and outcomes that enter your life. And yet, most people walk through the world leaking their energy into everything and everyone, giving it away freely to conflict, chaos, toxic conversations, unnecessary arguments, distractions dressed as opportunities, and people who only take, never pour back. But today, that ends. Today, you wake up and understand with unshakable clarity that your energy is sacred and you must protect it fiercely, not softly, not sometimes, fiercely, like a warrior guards a kingdom. Because every time you let someone's negativity crawl into your spirit, you give away a piece of your peace. Every time you allow someone to emotionally drain you, you've handed them permission to rob you of clarity, focus, and alignment. You are not required to attend every argument you're invited to. You are not obligated to explain your peace to people who live in permanent chaos. Your energy is your responsibility. And every single morning you must decide what gets access to it. Just like your home has doors to keep out what doesn't belong, your inner world needs boundaries. And boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They're statements of self-respect that say, I love myself enough not to let this in. You see, when you treat your energy as sacred, you stop trying to please everyone. You stop saying yes out of guilt and start saying no out of wisdom. You stop responding to things that don't deserve your attention. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You start walking away, not with bitterness, but with power. Because the truth is, not everyone deserves access to you. Not every space is worthy of your presence. Not every conversation is worth your response. Protecting your energy means being aware of how you feel after interactions and making decisions based on that awareness. It means noticing who leaves you drained and who leaves you energized. It means choosing stillness over noise, truth over tolerance, and alignment over approval. And this is not selfish, it's sacred self-preservation. Because you cannot pour into your purpose if you're constantly being emptied by distraction. You cannot shine your light if you're always dimming it for others to feel comfortable. You were not created to carry the weight of everyone's dysfunction. You were not a dumping ground for other people's chaos. You were not a battery to charge everyone else while you are running on empty. So protect your mornings. Guard your routines. Be mindful of who has your ear and your time. Be intentional with your spaces, your circle, your screen time, your self-talk. Protect your joy like it's a priceless treasure, because it is. Protect your peace like it's your spiritual oxygen, because it is. You see, when you start treating your energy like the sacred force it is, everything changes. You become more intuitive, more grounded, more focused. You begin attracting people who respect your presence instead of demanding your sacrifice. You start feeling lighter, clearer, stronger, not because your life is perfect, but because your soul is no longer being drained. And you realize that the most powerful form of self-love is in bubble baths or spa days. It's protecting your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. The quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of your energy. So if something robs your peace, steals your clarity, confuses your spirit, it's too expensive. Let it go. If someone's presence leaves you feeling less like yourself, protect your boundary. If a habit keeps you stuck in low vibration, cut it off. Not later. Now. This is your time to elevate, to rise, to reserve your energy for things that build you, challenge you, heal you, and inspire you. Anything less is a leak in your power, and your power is not something to be wasted. So let the world know, not through anger, but through unwavering clarity. My energy is sacred, and I protect it fiercely. That is your shield, that is your standard, and that is your truth from this day forward. Because when your energy is guarded, your purpose becomes unstoppable. Number 4, everything I need is already within me. You've spent too long searching outside yourself for what has always lived within you. Validation from others, confidence in comparison, purpose from approval, peace in possessions. But the truth you've been running from is this: everything you need is already within you. Not out there, not someday, not after one more achievement or another person's affirmation. It's here, now, inside. The strength you seek, it's already in your bones. The clarity you crave, it's buried under the noise you keep entertaining. The courage you pray for, it's whispering in the silence between your doubt and your destiny. The love, the power, the creativity, the wisdom, the resilience, it's not something you find, it's something you uncover. Because life doesn't withhold gifts from you, it waits for you to remember who you are. You weren't created incomplete. You weren't born broken. You came into this world fully equipped for your assignment, fully capable of handling the storms and the seasons that would try to test your worth. But the world taught you to forget. It taught you to look outward for answers, to depend on external applause, to measure your worth in likes, to chase status over stillness. It taught you to hide your light, to doubt your voice, to wait for permission before you move. And now here you are, exhausted from the performance, worn down by the search, wondering why peace is still out of reach. But what if it was never lost? What if the answers aren't ahead of you, but within you? What if you stopped seeking and started seeing? Because the moment you turn inward, the moment you quiet the noise, the moment you stop begging for what you already have, you'll discover the truth that will set your soul on fire. You are enough. You are already enough. Not when you achieve more, not when you become someone else, not when life finally cooperates. Now, as you are. And when you understand this, when you deeply feel this, you begin to live differently. You stop chasing and start creating. You stop comparing and start honoring. You stop doubting and start deciding. You start showing up with boldness because you realize that the treasure you were looking for was buried in your own soul the entire time. It's not ego, it's divine awareness. It's not arrogance, it's sacred alignment. It's the knowing that you are not just a person. You are a portal of purpose, a vessel of divine intelligence, a walking miracle carrying ideas, gifts, love, healing, and power this world desperately needs. But you have to access it. You have to believe it. You have to get still enough, brave enough, and disciplined enough to pull it out. Everything you need to rise, to rebuild, to become. It's already been placed in you by design. Your job is not to add to yourself, it's to remember yourself. To strip away the doubt, the fear, the trauma, the lies, the layers that made you forget. You don't need more to be more. You need truth to be free. And the truth is this: your mind is capable of vision far beyond your circumstances. Your spirit is stronger than the wounds you thought would destroy you. Your voice is needed in rooms you haven't even entered yet. You already have what it takes. You just haven't activated it fully. You keep asking for signs when you are the sign. You keep waiting for a savior when your soul is screaming, save yourself. And you can, not because of external resources, but because of internal ones. So when the doubt rises, when the world gets loud, when fear creeps in like a thief in the night, speak this truth out loud and let it echo through every cell in your body. Everything I need is already within me. Say it until it drowns out the old stories. Say it until it reprograms your subconscious. Say it until your body believes it, until your actions align with it, until your presence commands rooms without you even trying, because you are not empty. You are full of potential. You are not lost. You are layered with greatness. You are not broken. You are becoming. And the path forward isn't about addition, but awakening. Waking up to the fire in your soul. Waking up to the wisdom in your intuition. Waking up to the vision you keep silencing, to fit into boxes you were never meant to shrink into. So stop dimming your own light, waiting for the world to give you permission to shine. Stop treating your gifts like background noise when they were meant to lead symphonies. Stop outsourcing your power when it's been rooted in you all along. You are the miracle. You are the answer. You are the resource. And when you finally believe that, deeply, unwaveringly, you become unstoppable. You become magnetic. You become the version of yourself you've always dreamed of, not because you found something new, but because you remembered what was always there. So today, walk like you are whole, speak like you are already equipped, move like your energy is your evidence, and remind yourself, again and again, everything I need is already within me. And then, as you read, continue to claim your power and begin to claim your inner power, to begin to claim your power. Number 5, I am focused, grounded, and moving with purpose. The world around you is loud, filled with distractions, noise, urgency, and endless demands trying to pull your attention in 100 different directions. But deep within you, there is a still place that knows exactly where you're going. And today you rise from that place with certainty and say, I am focused, grounded, and moving with purpose. You're no longer chasing every spark, reacting to every emotion, or getting lost in the whirlwind of other people's expectations. You've done that long enough, and you've paid the price in wasted energy, lost time, and scattered intentions. But not anymore. Now, you wake up each day with a clarity that cuts through chaos like a blade. You are no longer available for aimless living. You are not here to merely exist. You are here to advance. You are here to walk with meaning, to breathe with intention, to act from alignment. Focus is your weapon. Grounding is your anchor. And purpose is your fuel. And when these three come together, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you become more unshakable. Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing more. It's about doing what matters and eliminating what doesn't. It's about refusing to let temporary emotions or outside opinions sway your internal direction. It's about protecting your time like it's sacred, which it is. And choosing to place your attention on things that build your future, not distract from it. Being grounded means you are rooted in who you are, not tossed around by the storms of life. You are connected to something deeper than the surface. You know your values, your vision, and your why. And when the winds of uncertainty try to knock you off course, you don't panic. You remember who you are. You breathe. You pause. And then you move. Calm, steady, intentional. And that's what moving with purpose is. Not rushing, not scrambling, not proving, but progressing. It's choosing quality over quantity, legacy over urgency, meaning over noise. It's understanding that you were not created to be everything for everyone. You were created to be something extraordinary, for someone, somewhere, in alignment with the mission planted in your soul. And when you move with purpose, you no longer need external motivation, because you're being pulled by vision instead of pushed by pressure. Every step you take becomes meaningful. Even the setbacks feel sacred, because you know they're shaping you. You stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what is aligned with my higher calling? You filter your choices through your future, and you stop giving your energy to things that don't feed that future. This kind of clarity doesn't just come from motivation. It comes from deep internal work, from deciding that your life will be led by design, not default. You learn to say no without guilt, to say yes with conviction, to rise early because your purpose is too important to sleep on. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't even understand your vision. And you start building even when no one's watching. You start building momentum when no one's watching. Because that's what real focus looks like. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's consistent, it's quiet, it's relentless. You begin to live each day with the awareness that your time is finite and your energy is sacred. You understand that success is not an accident. It's the result of being deeply grounded in who you are and obsessively focused on what matters. So distractions, they lose their power. Temptations, they lose their appeal. Because when you are focused, grounded, and moving with purpose, your soul is satisfied. Not from external validation, but from internal alignment. You no longer need applause because your fulfillment comes from progress. You no longer chase trends because you are too busy building truth. And yes, the journey may get lonely because not everyone will understand this level of discipline, this kind of inner fire. But you won't be shaken because purpose gives you patience and grounding gives you peace. You'll stop comparing your chapter to someone else's highlight reel and start trusting the divine timing of your own story. You'll stop needing to prove and start choosing to be the kind of person who lives with integrity, who shows up with consistency, who walks into every room with intention. And the beauty of it all is that the more you live this way, the more you attract what aligns with you. Right people, right doors, right moments. Not forced, but flowed. Not begged for, but drawn to you by the frequency of your focus. So let this be your daily declaration, the compass for every decision you make. I am focused, grounded, and moving with purpose. Let it shape your thoughts, guide your habits, and fuel your journey, because this is the path to true success. Not just reaching a goal, but becoming the kind of person who lives in deep alignment with the reason they were born. You are no longer scattered. You are no longer lost. You are no longer distracted. You are clear. You are steady. You are powerful, and you are becoming everything you were always meant to be. One focused, grounded, purposeful step at a time. Number 6. No fear can stop the fire inside me. Fear is loud, persistent, and convincing. It whispers worst-case scenarios, paints vivid pictures of failure, and dresses hesitation in the disguise of wisdom. But fear has one fatal flaw. It can only thrive where permission is given, and today you revoke that permission. Because deep inside you, burns a fire no fear can extinguish, a flame lit by purpose, fanned by passion, and forged through every trial you've survived. This fire is not soft or fragile. It is wild, ancient, and unrelenting. Deshi skuru, bu, pating, it is the part of you that rises when everything else collapses. The part of you that doesn't flinch when life roars. The part of you that remembers who you are, even when your mind forgets. Fear may knock on your door, but it doesn't get to live in your spirit. It doesn't get to dictate your pace, your decisions, or your destiny. Because the fire inside you is stronger. This fire is your truth, your willpower, your divine defiance against everything trying to keep you small. It burns brighter every time you take action in spite of doubt. Every time you show up when you want to disappear. Every time you breathe deeply and walk into the unknown with trembling hands but unshaken vision. Fear says, what if you fail? But the fire says, what if you fly? Fear says, you're not ready. But the fire says, your spirit already is. And that fire will not be dimmed by rejection, delay, or criticism. It feeds off resistance, grows under pressure, and transforms fear into fuel. You've been through too much to give fear the final word. You've been tested, bent, broken, rebuilt. And through it all, your fire never went out. Maybe it flickered, maybe it dimmed, but it never died. And that's what makes you powerful. Not that you've never been afraid, but that fear never had the final say. You moved anyway, you rose anyway, you dared anyway. That's courage. Not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear win. And the truth is, everything you want, growth, healing, freedom, success, it all lives on the other side of fear. But you don't have to wait for fear to disappear before you act. You just need to trust the fire. Trust the deeper part of you that knows what you're made for, that remembers your mission, that doesn't need guarantees to begin. That fire in you is vision, calling, legacy, and fear cannot stop it unless you let it. So stop letting fear hold the pen to your story. Stop letting it rewrite your worth, edit your dreams, or control your voice. You have the right to feel fear, but you also have the power to override it. Let your fire speak louder. Let it scream go, while fear whispers wait. Let it push you out of comfort and into creation, because you were not built to stay safe. You were built to stay on fire, burning with intention, glowing with purpose, driven by a force that refuses to be silenced. And yes, people may not understand it. They may call you reckless, unrealistic, too intense. But that's only because they've let their fear bury your flame. Don't let that happen to you. Protect your fire like your future depends on it, because it does. Keep showing up. Keep speaking truth. Keep moving toward what sets your soul on fire. Even if your knees shake, even if your voice cracks, even if the path isn't clear, because every step you take through fear proves that it can't stop you. Fear may be present, but it's powerless in the presence of inner fire. Let that be your truth today. No fear can stop the fire inside me. Say it until it becomes your default setting. Say it when fear screams and you feel like quitting. Say it when doubt knocks and anxiety rises. Say it when you feel unworthy, unprepared, or uncertain. Because none of those things can outlast the fire. And if you ever forget, if life ever tries to bury you under discouragement or delay, remember this. If you ever forget, if life ever tries to bury you under discouragement or delay, remember this. Fire doesn't die in the dark. It grows. And so will you. So rise, not because fear is gone, but because your fire refuses to be. Let it light your way. Let it lead you forward. Let it burn so bright that fear melts in its presence. Because this is who you are. Not afraid, not timid, not waiting, but on fire and moving. unstoppable, unshaken, unapologetically alive. Number 7, I am allowed to take up space and speak my truth. For far too long you've been taught to shrink, to make yourself smaller, quieter, more agreeable, more digestible for the comfort of others, to silence your truth so no one else feels uncomfortable around your authenticity, but not anymore. Because today you reclaim what was always yours. The right to take up space and speak your truth without apology. You are not here to tiptoe through life hiding your voice, your story, your brilliance under layers of fear or the weight of other people's expectations. You are allowed, no, you are meant to be here fully, to own the air you breathe, to walk into a room and not question whether you belong, but to know that you do. Your existence is not a burden. Your presence is not a disruption. Your truth is not too much. Somewhere along the way, someone may have convinced you that being agreeable was the same as being valuable, that speaking up made you difficult, that expressing how you truly feel would push people away. But those are lies, not lessons. You are not too loud. You are not too intense. You are not too emotional. You are not too ambitious. You are just right. The very things that make you different, the things you've tried to dull down to fit in, those are your power, your purpose, your divine signature. You were not sent here to perform, to blend in, to water yourself down to survive. You were sent here to stand out, to rise, to impact, to awaken the world with your voice, your values, your story, and your truth, no matter how messy, raw, complicated or unfinished, is worthy of being spoken. Every time you hold it back, you abandon yourself for the comfort of others. But no more. Now, you choose self-honor over self-silencing. You understand that taking up space doesn't mean being arrogant. It means being present, being seen, being heard. It means knowing that your thoughts, your dreams, your opinions matter. It means sitting at the table and not waiting for permission to speak, not waiting for an invitation to belong, but showing up because you already do. Taking up space is an act of resistance in a world that profits from your insecurity. It's a revolution to own your power, to walk tall, with no need to shrink for anyone else's approval. It's saying, here I am, even if your voice shakes, even if you're still healing, even if you're still figuring it all out. Because worthiness isn't about perfection, it's about presence. You were born with a voice that was meant to be used, a story that was meant to be told, a message that someone out there needs to hear. And when you speak your truth, you not only liberate yourself, you give silent permission to others to do the same. Your courage becomes their mirror. Your confidence becomes their compass. Your authenticity becomes their awakening. So no, you will not play small to make others feel comfortable. You will not stay silent to keep the peace that was never peaceful for you. You will not suppress your fire to avoid someone else's discomfort, because you have a right to exist loudly, fully, and truthfully. You are allowed to say what you feel, to claim what you need, to demand what you deserve. And if that makes someone uncomfortable, let it. You're not responsible for managing the emotional reactions of people who benefit from your silence. You are responsible for honoring the truth that lives in your bones. And that truth, it is sacred, it is valid, it is enough. Speak it in the boardroom, in the classroom, in your relationships, in your journal, on the stage, in your prayers. Speak it everywhere. Because your truth is not a secret, shame, it's your sacred freedom. When you show up as your whole self, you show the world what real integrity looks like. When you take up space, you rewrite the story for every version of you that was told to shrink. And yes, it might be uncomfortable at first. You may feel resistance, guilt, doubt, but that discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're healing the wound of invisibility. Every time you speak your truth, you stitch your soul back together. Every time you stand tall, you tell the younger you that they never had to disappear to be loved. This is reclamation. This is self-respect. This is power. So from this moment forward, say it until it becomes second nature. I am allowed to take up space and speak my truth. Say it when you walk into rooms where you once shrank. Say it when you're tempted to edit yourself for acceptance. Say it when your voice shakes, when your heart pounds, when fear tries to convince you that silence is safe. Say it anyway, because your truth is your liberation and your presence is your proof that you are worthy of every inch of space you stand on. You are not an accident. You are not a shadow. You are a force. You are a light. You are a presence the world needs. So rise, speak, shine, take up space, and never again apologize for being exactly who you are. Number 8. Today, I lead with courage, not comfort. Comfort is seductive. It lulls you into routines that feel safe, predictable, and familiar, but it also quietly robs you of growth, potential, and the life that exists beyond your fears. And today, you make a different choice. Today, you say it with fire in your voice and conviction in your spirit. Today, I lead with courage, not comfort, because you understand that greatness never lives in the safety zone. It's not hiding behind routine. It's not sitting in the back row of your own life, and it's not waiting for the perfect time when everything is certain. No. Greatness is waiting beyond the threshold of discomfort, on the other side of your excuses, just past the fear that's been whispering lies in your ear for far too long. Comfort wants you to play it safe, shrink your vision, avoid risk, and stay quiet. But courage calls you forward to live boldly, speak truthfully, and walk into unknown territory with your head high and your heart wide open. Comfort says, don't try. What if you fail? But courage answers, try anyway. What if you fly? Comfort keeps you in familiar pain, the kind you've learned to manage, while courage exposes you to unfamiliar growth, the kind that transforms everything. And you've come too far to keep choosing ease over evolution. Every dream you've buried, every idea you've ignored, every step you've hesitated to take, it's time to dig them up and move. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to act anyway. It's choosing what is right over what is easy. It's showing up when no one's cheering. It's standing firm when the ground shakes beneath you. It's making the uncomfortable phone call, saying no when it would be easier to say yes, walking away from what doesn't serve you, and stepping into opportunities that challenge every limit you thought you had. Today, you choose to be led by courage, the kind that stretches your mind, expands your heart, and demands more from your spirit. Because you weren't created to survive, you were created to build, to lead, to light fires, to disrupt comfort zones, and turn pain into purpose. And leading with courage means making decisions that your future self will thank you for, even if they scare you in the moment. It means trusting that the version of you on the other side of discomfort is stronger, wiser, freer. Leading with courage means no longer delaying your dreams, no longer watering yourself down, no longer explaining your light to people still stuck in darkness. It's refusing to settle for the life that is easy in exchange for the life that is meaningful. Because deep down you know the truth. Comfort never built empires. Comfort never wrote books, launched businesses, healed wounds, or shifted generations. But courage has changed the world, and it can change your world too. Every time you choose to lead with courage, you give yourself permission to live with fully, to take the leap, to start again, to love harder, to rise higher. And yes, courage will cost you. It'll cost you convenience, popularity, temporary peace, but it will reward you with purpose, progress, and a life you're proud of. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be real, to be brave, to lead not just with your words, but with your choices. Today, that means showing up, even when your hands tremble, even when your voice shakes, even when your heart beats faster than your certainty. Because courage isn't something you wait for. It's something you decide. And every time you choose it, it grows. It becomes a habit, a way of life, a part of your identity. You become someone who doesn't wait for things to feel good. You do them because they are good, because they matter, because they move you closer to your highest self. Let comfort keep others safe. Let courage make you unforgettable. Let courage build your legacy. Let courage turn your life from a quiet survival story into a bold testimony of transformation. And if ever you feel the pull to shrink again, to retreat, to run back to the familiar, remind yourself who you are and where you're going. You are not here to live halfway. You are not here to coast. You are here to create impact, to feel alive, to stretch, to struggle, to grow, to rise. And the only way to do that is to lead with courage, deliberately, passionately, relentlessly. So today, breathe deeply, square your shoulders, lift your chin, and walk boldly into the stretch zone of your life. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because your future demands it. Because your calling requires it. Because your soul craves it. Say it loud and mean it. Today, I lead with courage, not comfort. Let that be the standard. Let that be your compass. Let that be the fire that drives every step forward. Because comfort may feel good, but courage feels right. And when you choose courage, you don't just change your life. You inspire others to change theirs. Number 9, I am worthy of love, success, and peace. You were not born to earn your worth. You were born worthy, inherently, divinely, completely, without condition or exception. And today you rise with the unshakable truth in your spirit that I am worthy of love, success, and peace. Not because of what I've done, but because of who I am. Not because of my achievements, my income, my status, my perfection, but because my existence alone carries value. For too long, the world may have tried to convince you otherwise, layering your soul with shame, making you believe that love must be earned, that success is for others, that peace is something reserved only for those who've suffered enough. But none of that is truth. That is programming, not identity. You do not need to hustle for your worth. You do not need to prove yourself just to be loved. You do not need to be flawless to deserve happiness. You are not unworthy because of your past, your flaws, your scars, your wounds. In fact, it is those very things that make your worth even more sacred. You are worthy because you exist, and your existence was not an accident. It was intentional. Every breath you take is evidence that you are chosen, that you are enough. And love, real love, is your birthright. The kind that sees you, accepts you, holds space for you without condition. Say yes. Today, without condition. 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 Not the kind that makes you feel small, that plays games with your heart, that forces you to change who you are. You are worthy of love that mirrors the truth of your soul, love that doesn't ask you to shrink, love that doesn't leave when things get hard. And if you've accepted less in the past, today is the day you draw the line. You are done begging for crumbs when you were built for the feast. You are worthy of deep, fulfilling love. Not just from others, but from yourself. Because self-love is the root from which everything else grows. When you love yourself deeply, you stop accepting half-hearted connections. You stop settling for roles that silence you. You stop doubting your own intuition. You start standing taller, speaking clearer, walking more freely, because you know that you are not broken. You are becoming. And that worth extends beyond love into every area of your life. You are worthy of success, not just survival, not just scraping by, but thriving. You are worthy of goals that make your heart race, of dreams that stretch you, of opportunities that match your divine potential. You are not an outsider to success. You are designed for it. Not success defined by society, but success that feels like alignment, purpose, freedom. The kind that doesn't steal your soul, but feeds it. And you don't have to burn out to earn it. You don't have to sacrifice your well-being to prove you deserve it. You just have to remember that you already do. The moment you believe in your worth, your energy shifts and the universe responds to that vibration. Doors open, ideas flow, people show up, not because you've changed who you are, but because you've remembered who you are. And beyond love and success, you are worthy of something most people forget to even desire: peace. Deep, soul-level peace. The kind that doesn't depend on your circumstances. The kind that doesn't disappear when things go wrong. The kind that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you are safe, you are guided, and you are enough. Peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of self-trust. The confidence that you will rise, rebuild, and remain grounded, even when storms come. Peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the presence of self-trust, the confidence that you will rise, rebuild, and remain grounded, even when storms come. And you deserve that peace. You deserve mornings that don't begin with anxiety. You deserve relationships that don't feel like war zones. You deserve inner stillness, even when the world is spinning fast. But peace, like anything sacred, must be protected. You protect it by choosing boundaries over people-pleasing. You protect it by choosing rest over burnout. You protect it by walking away from what doesn't feel right, even if others don't understand. Because your peace is more valuable than their approval. And when you truly own your worth, when you feel it in your bones, when you stop negotiating it, everything changes. You stop begging, you stop shrinking, you stop tolerating, and you start claiming. You claim the love you've always wanted by first giving it to yourself. You claim the success you were destined for by walking boldly into your calling. You claim the peace your soul has been craving by no longer choosing chaos as a companion. This is the power of worthiness. It is not loud, but it is unmovable. It is the quiet, steady knowing that you are enough. Always have been, always will be. And if someone can't see that, let them walk. If a door closes, let it. If a season ends, release it. Because what is meant for you cannot miss you when you are aligned with your worth. So stand tall today, not with arrogance, but with sacred awareness. Say it until your soul believes it. Say it until every cell in your body remembers the truth you forgot somewhere along the way. I am worthy of love, success, and peace. Not someday, now. Not conditionally, eternally. Let that truth guide your choices, your standards, your energy. Let it rewrite the stories that once kept you small. Let it build the life you were always meant to live. Because your worth is not up for debate. It is the foundation of your freedom. And today, You finally decide to live like it. Number 10. I forgive myself and grow forward. There comes a time in every journey when the weight of past mistakes, regrets, and unspoken shame becomes too heavy to carry forward. And in that sacred moment, a powerful decision must be made. Not to forget the past, not to erase it, but to forgive yourself and grow forward. And today that moment is now, where you stand with your head high, your heart open, and your soul whispering the truth you've longed to hear. I forgive myself and grow forward, because you finally understand that you cannot build a better future while chained to the pain of yesterday, that guilt is not a compass and shame is not a teacher. Only grace can guide you home. You've carried blame like armor, replayed mistakes like a broken record, judged yourself with a harshness you'd never give to another. And for what? For being human? For learning the hard way? For making choices from a place of fear, pain, or survival? The truth is, you did the best you could with what you knew at the time, and punishing yourself forever will not change the past. What it will do is rob you of peace, dim your light, and stunt the growth that you were born to embody. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength, because it says, I will not let who I was yesterday define who I am today. It means standing in the mirror and choosing compassion over condemnation. It means wrapping your younger self in understanding instead of resentment. It means saying to the parts of you that made mistakes, I see you, I understand you, and I release you. Because holding on only tightens the wound, but forgiveness is the balm that allows you to heal. And healing isn't a straight line. It's messy, unpredictable, and deeply sacred. It means facing the parts of yourself you've tried to avoid and loving them anyway. It means letting go of the fantasy that you should have known better, that you should have acted differently, that you could have avoided the hurt. You couldn't. Because those experiences, painful as they were, taught you something. They carved wisdom into your bones. They opened your eyes. They shaped your strength. They cracked you open so you could grow. So you don't forgive yourself because what you did was okay. You forgive yourself because you are choosing to grow despite it. You forgive yourself because your future is too important to be held hostage by your past. You forgive yourself because you deserve to be free. And freedom doesn't come from pretending the past didn't happen. It comes from owning it, learning from it, and refusing to let it control you any longer. It comes from saying, yes, that happened. Yes, I hurt. Yes, I made mistakes, but I am not that mistake. I am the person who survived it, who rose from it, who is rising now. And from that place of self-compassion, you begin to grow, not just forward, but upward. You begin to build a life rooted in truth, not guilt. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to feel joy without the shadow of undeserved punishment. You begin to feel the joy without the shadow of undeserved punishment. Growth is your birthright. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow your old self. You are allowed to change your mind, rewrite your story, and walk a new path without needing anyone else's permission, not even your own inner critics. The old you was necessary, but they are not your prison. They are your foundation. Let them rest. Let them be. Let them go. And in that letting go, you rise. Not because you're erasing the past, but because you're transcending it. Let them rest. Let them go. And in that letting go, you rise. Not because you're erasing the past, but because you're transcending it. You're growing into someone who doesn't need perfection to be proud of themselves. Someone who leads with integrity, not insecurity. Someone who understands that real power comes from facing the truth and still choosing love. This is how you become unstoppable. Not by never falling, but by learning how to forgive the version of you who did. So stand tall, breathe deeply, and speak these words like a sacred mantra. I forgive myself and grow forward. Say it when the shame creeps in. Say it when you're tempted to punish yourself again. Say it when you feel unworthy of a fresh start. Say it until it becomes the truth that leads you into your next chapter. You are not broken. You are breaking open. And from that opening will rise the strongest, wisest, most beautiful version of you. One who is no longer shackled by regret, but fueled by redemption. One who understands that every fall was a step toward awakening. One who doesn't just survive, but thrives. And that journey begins now, with forgiveness in your heart and growth in your spirit, forever forward. Number 11, discipline is my daily devotion to my destiny. Discipline is not punishment, it is love in action, focus in motion, and faith made visible. It is the sacred structure that transforms dreams into reality and good intentions into a powerful legacy. And today you declare with unwavering clarity that discipline is my daily devotion to my destiny, because you finally understand that greatness isn't born from occasional inspiration or fleeting motivation, but from the consistent, often unseen commitment to show up for yourself again and again. Especially on the days when it's hard, when no one is watching, when the noise of comfort tries to drown the whisper of purpose. Discipline is not about being rigid. It's about being rooted. Rooted in who you are becoming. Rooted in the vision that was planted in your soul long before the world told you to play small. It's waking up with intention, going to bed with alignment, and organizing your life in service of your highest calling. It's doing the work, not just when it's exciting, but when it's exhausting. It's saying no to distractions, not because you don't enjoy them, but because your destiny deserves more than momentary pleasure. It's honoring your time, your energy, your goals, like they are sacred, because they are. Every decision you make, every routine you stick to, every habit you form, these are daily acts of devotion, offerings to your future self, investments in the life you are building. And the beautiful truth is, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. You don't need to move in giant leaps, you just need to move with intention every single day. Because discipline doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't boast, it builds. It becomes, and then a 4 million. That's the struggle. It's the session. It's the build. It is quiet, powerful, patient, like water wearing away stone. It's the meal prepped when fast food is easier, the workout done when sleep calls louder, the chapter written when inspiration is nowhere in sight. And over time, those small, deliberate actions compound into something extraordinary. You begin to see results not because you tried once, but because you committed daily. You begin to trust yourself, not because you're never tempted to quit, but because you refuse to. And in that trust, a deeper confidence grows, a knowing that you are becoming someone who follows through, someone who keeps their word, someone whose actions are aligned with their ambitions. That's what discipline gives you. Alignment, self-respect, momentum. It is not restrictive. It is liberating. Because when you're disciplined, you don't live at the mercy of your moods or the randomness of your circumstances. You live by design. You move with purpose. You act in faith. And this faith isn't passive. It's bold, active, resilient. It says, I believe so deeply in my destiny that I'm willing to work for it every day, even when no one claps, even when results are slow, even when doubt whispers. Because you're not chasing instant gratification. You're cultivating eternal impact. You know that true success isn't glamorous. It's gritty. It's not in the spotlight. It's in the solitude, the early mornings, the late nights, the thousands of tiny choices no one sees. That's what builds character. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Discipline is your spiritual armor. It protects your priorities, shields your focus, and grounds your energy in what matters most. And yes, you'll have to sacrifice some things: comfort, convenience, distractions. But what you gain in return is worth infinitely more. Clarity, freedom, power, peace. You become the architect of your life, not the prisoner of your impulses. And the best part? Discipline breeds more discipline. The more you show up, the easier it becomes. The more you stay aligned, the less you tolerate what doesn't serve you. It becomes who you are, not something you do, but something you embody. And people will notice. They'll feel your energy shift. They'll witness the quiet power of your consistency. They'll wonder how you did it, and you'll smile. Because you'll know it wasn't luck, it was devotion. It wasn't magic, it was discipline. So today and every day, you recommit not to perfection, but to progress. Not to performance, but to purpose. You remind yourself that the dream is worth the discipline, that the vision is worth the sacrifice, that your future is worth the work. You turn your routines into rituals, your habits into healing, your daily grind into sacred practice. Because you're not just living, you're building. You're not just existing, you're elevating. And with every step you take in discipline, you carve a path that others will follow. You light the way. You inspire, you lead. So hold your head high, take a breath and say it like a vow to your soul. Discipline is my daily devotion to my destiny. Let that be your anthem. Let it guide your actions. Let it shape your days. Because when you live like that, focused, faithful, and fiercely committed, there is nothing that can stop you. You become the vessel through which destiny manifests, one disciplined decision at a time. Number 12. I attract opportunities aligned with my mission. Every day you rise with clarity in your heart and conviction in your spirit. You become a magnet for purpose-driven miracles. And today you declare without hesitation, I attract opportunities aligned with my mission. Because you no longer chase just anything that glitters. You call in only what aligns, only what elevates, only what honors the assignment placed in your soul. You've outgrown random effort, meaningless distractions, and draining detours disguised as blessings. Now, your energy is intentional, your time is sacred, and your focus is laser sharp, because you're not here to dabble. You're here to build. You're not interested in temporary gains or shallow applause. You're here for deep, resonant impact that echoes through every action you take and every door that opens. You've learned that when your inner world is aligned, when your values are clear, your vision is defined, your voice is unwavering, external alignment naturally follows. The right people, the right timing, the right doors, they appear not through force, but through frequency. You don't need to beg for opportunities when your energy already declares, I am ready. You don't need to convince the world of your worth when your presence already speaks volume. The universe doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to alignment. And when you are aligned with your mission, your life begins to feel less like chasing and more like receiving. You no longer say yes to everything, you say yes to what fits. You no longer operate from lack, you operate from clarity. You recognize that your mission is not just a career goal or a fleeting passion. It's a divine compass, a calling, a sacred responsibility to live in such a way that everything you do, build, speak and touch carries the fingerprint of purpose. And when you lead from that mission, you stop comparing your path to others, because you understand that what is aligned for them may be misaligned for you. You trust that what is meant for you will recognize your energy, will match your integrity, and will challenge you in the best possible way. Not to distract you, but to develop you. The more you act from this truth, the more magnetic you become. Not because you're louder or more visible, but because your authenticity resonates deeper. People feel the clarity in your energy. They sense the peace in your confidence. They notice the consistency in your walk. And those who are meant to build with you, collaborate with you, or open doors for you will be drawn not by chance, but by recognition. Because when your soul is in alignment, your life becomes a mirror that reflects your inner truth. That's the power of living on mission. It activates synchronicity, the meeting that changes everything, the conversation that opens a new realm, the moment that shifts your trajectory, and none of it is accidental. It's the result of unseen preparation, daily devotion, and the quiet discipline of becoming the kind of person who is ready to receive. Because if your habits don't match your mission, your life will stay stuck in misalignment. But when your thoughts, actions, boundaries, and focus are in harmony with your deeper calling, you create a field of attraction that pulls in miracles tailor-made for you. You don't have to compete. You just have to become. You don't have to search. You just have to shine. The more you embody your mission, the more naturally aligned opportunities will seek you out. Because success doesn't just belong to those who hustle endlessly. It belongs to those who align courageously. It belongs to those who are clear on what they want, why they want it, and what they're willing to release in order to receive it. That's where you are now, not just dreaming, but deciding. Not just working, but weeding out what no longer fits. You've learned to close the door on what drains you, on what distracts you, on what delays you, because you know that space must be made for the right things to arrive. You no longer entertain energy that is out of sync with your future. You don't cling to expired connections. You don't compromise your standards. Why? Because your mission matters more than your momentary emotions. And from that place of maturity, you rise into a new level of magnetic energy. You start to notice that your no's are just as powerful as your yeses. That your time is an investment, not a donation. That your presence carries weight, and not everyone should have access to it. And that's not arrogance, it's alignment. It's you recognizing that your mission deserves to be protected, curated, and nurtured with care. Because you're not just living for today, you're laying the foundation for a life that reflects your truth, multiplies your impact, and honors the reason you were born. So say it with certainty and let it guide your every move. I attract opportunities aligned with my mission. Let that be your filter, your affirmation, your anchor. Let it protect you from settling. Let it empower you to wait for what fits. Let it remind you that alignment is not about luck. It's about intention. The kind of intention that turns chaos into clarity, confusion into confidence, and effort into elevation. You are no longer available for anything that disconnects you from your purpose. You are no longer confused about what you bring to the table. You are rooted, ready, and radiating with focus. And the world will respond, not because you forced it to, but because you align so deeply with who you are and what you're here to do, that the right doors had no choice but to open. This is your time. This is your season. You are not waiting. You are welcoming. The opportunities that are for you are already on their way, already being shaped, already being guided toward your path. And as long as you stay aligned, they will not miss you. So where do we start? Where do we start? Number 1, I will start as always with the right doors, staying on your season. Keep showing up, keep speaking truth, keep moving in mission, because everything meant for you is already finding its way. Right now, number 13. My mind is strong, my heart is open, my soul is alive. There is a rare and powerful state of being that only a few truly discover. The moment when your mind sharpens like a blade of clarity, your heart beats with boundless compassion, and your soul dances with a fire that cannot be dimmed. And today you boldly declare, my mind is strong, my heart is open, my soul is alive, because you have fought through too much, learned too deeply, and risen too far to live disconnected from your full power. And now you stand here, not just surviving, but thriving, not just existing, but illuminated. Your mind is no longer a battlefield of self-doubt and fear, but a sanctuary of resilience, discipline, and focused thought. You've trained it, cleansed it, and forged it through trial after trial, refusing to let negativity write your story. You've learned how to silence the noise and command your thoughts, no longer believing every lie that insecurity whispered or every fear that tried to hijack your future. Your mind is not your enemy. It is your engine, your compass, your lens through which you frame your reality. And now it is strong, not just in intelligence, but in emotional regulation, in wisdom, in stillness, in knowing when to act and when to let go. A strong mind chooses presence over panic, clarity over chaos, vision over distraction. And you own that strength now. But strength of mind is not enough without an open heart. And yours, scarred, stretched, and softened by life, has not closed. It has expanded. You have every reason to guard it, to numb it, to turn it cold from past betrayals or heartbreaks. But you don't. You've chosen the braver path. You've chosen to keep it open. You love fully. You feel deeply. You forgive boldly. You let people in, not because it's safe, but because it's sacred. You have discovered that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the highest form of courage. An open heart creates space for connection, empathy, growth, and healing. It allows you to see others beyond their masks, and more importantly, to see yourself without judgment. It is the massive power of connection to alter the patterns of cognitive time, which then lets connection in. You have chosen to become vulnerable, to see yourself without judgment. With an open heart, you extend grace, not just outward, but inward. You begin to treat yourself with kindness, to embrace your imperfections, to see your humanity as holy rather than flawed. And it is from this union of strength in thought and openness in feeling that your soul awakens. Your soul is alive. You can feel it in the way you now move through the world, lit from within by a deeper knowing, a divine rhythm. Your soul doesn't chase approval. It doesn't play small. It doesn't cling to what's gone or obsess over what's next. Your soul lives here, in this moment, burning with truth, purpose, and a wild kind of freedom that can't be faked. It's in the way you now speak from your center, create from your truth, Serve from your overflow. Your soul is alive every time you choose alignment over anxiety, contribution over comparison, intuition over imitation.